Yo, friends! Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? I think it's Thursday. Happy Thursday. It's been a while. This is the week. It's not really the weekly update, I guess, at this point, is it? It's just an update. Let's not concentrate on how long it's been or how long let's just say, here's an update. We've been a little preoccupied over the last couple of weeks, animating 4,200 stoned apes. And, I think we're getting better at this. I hope we are. With the nuked apes, when we finished all of them, we ended up, because the timeline was so compressed, the deadline was so tight, we ended up having to do quite a bit of revision work because there were little gaps between attributes and little problems here and there, and some things that people thought just should be better, like the rescue suits, they wanted the mask to open and things like that. And so we spent probably 2 weeks cleaning those things up and adding some complexity to some of the animation and trying to make all those holders happy, because that's obviously important. And with the Stoned Ape Crew collection, the main collection, we had a little bit more time, and so we were much more diligent about the prep and making sure that everything was perfect as much as possible before launch. Not that we were lazy or something with the nukes, we just didn't have the time. So with the Stoned Ape Crew, we had the time, and we really put in the hours in order to make sure that they were as perfect as possible when they were created, and that there would be as few revisions as possible. And that's kind of where we're at with that. They have been really well received by the Stoned Ape Crew community, and we're really happy about that. We think they're pretty awesome. Even the most common ones are smooth. We made some changes from one to the next. We extended the loop time from 3 seconds and a little bit, like 98 frames, to 120 frames with the Stoned Ape Crew. And we just concentrated on making sort of clean animation, where the nukes were kind of crazy, chaotic, had a lot going on, a lot of effects. And then the Stoned Ape Crew was more just about having a smoothness to it, and kind of just like a clean overall look. And then that becomes a nice, resume for us. It's kind of like, we can go either of these two directions if you want. If you want it to be busier and crazier, we can do that. And if you want to just concentrate on having it be clean and simple, we can do that too. So I really like, between those two projects, there are now thousands and thousands of examples of our work that are out there. I think more and more people know who we are and what we do, and so yeah, that's been a major positive. It's pretty draining, I would say, on the team. Each time we do one of these collections, it's almost like a mint of our own, because you have a deadline and you have sort of revisions arriving like right up until the very last minute. Sort of the art team wanting to add, this jacket or this hairstyle, or what I mean, just adding more and more things. Or in the case of the Stoned Ape Crew, they were getting feedback on some of the clothing items and some of the backgrounds and things like that from the community, and then they were making changes very late into the process. And so, as much as you had a bit of time to work with, it all becomes very compressed at the end, and it has that feeling of pre-mint, where you're sort of like barely sleeping and just like trying to pull everything together, which is, I'll be honest, it's exciting and it's fun, but it is definitely exhausting. And so I think that whenever we get finished one of these, it's kind of like we got to take a breath for a day or two, and then refocus back onto the next thing. In the case of Stoned Ape Crew, we were able to output them so much faster than with the nuked, and I think that there are just more and more efficiencies that we'll discover as we go. And like I say, we should, at least in theory, get better at these. In terms of like what's next post Stoned Apes, we have kind of a nice little gap here. Like, we do have some things that we're working on. We're working on the Solana Hills game trailer. We're working on a bunch of one-on-ones for projects. And there's lots of conversations going on. But in terms of having another collection, full collection, lined up, ready to go, and has actually like put a deposit down, that we don't have one of those right now. It's only talk. And this, I mean, obviously there are some economic challenges, I would say, for projects out there that are being hit hard by this crunch, and some that have said, yeah, we're 100% doing it. Now they're saying, let's wait a bit, or they're just kind of reevaluating their priorities, I would say. But this is actually great for us because we want to have some time to focus on our next collection. And I don't want to say too much about it because, as you'll see, sort of like we don't mean to be cryptic, but the surprise is a huge part of the experience, is what I would say about that. That you want to experience it unfolding. If you know kind of where it's going, it's sort of spoiled, and that would suck. So I'm trying to do you a favor here by not telling you much about it, except to say that it's a 10K collection, that each pen friend you own will translate to one free mint of this collection. That our plan currently is to work on this and prep it through the month of July and launch it around the beginning of August. And we think that while it won't directly drive revenue to pen friends, it's going to drive demand to pen friends. And yeah, I got to be really careful with what I say, but I think in terms of like our exposure and also how individuals and projects view us, I think will change after this, because right now we're sort of like, we are the animation services project, and that's cool. And after this collection comes out, the perception will change a little bit. Will be to, okay, these guys are doing something different, something strange, and maybe innovating a little bit. And we have so many ideas of how to change the way things are done, and I'm not sure that we'll get all of them into this next one, but there's going to be more. Spoiler alert, there will be more coming later, and holding a pen friend will be a key into all of them. So I think that's important to know. And I think it's also important to say that this collection upcoming and any subsequent collections, they're not there to take our attention away from pen friends, and that's not what will happen. And once this next one unfolds, you'll understand why that's true, and not just me saying that. The way that the collection is built, it's designed around that. I don't know how to communicate this without giving too much away, which I don't want to do. So anyways, right now, yeah, our continued plan is to work through these other things that we've got going on. Other things will undoubtedly pop up, but right now our focus, after we finish the Solana Hills thing in the next few days, after we clean up a couple other items out of the queue, then we will get into this next collection. And once that's done, like I say, I think the demand for pen friends is going to be higher. The exposure, the awareness level is going to be much higher, and I think that people are going to start to get a sense of something different is going on over here, and it's more than just us. animating for projects, which is cool, and we want to keep doing that, but we also want to do some different things as well, because we're not just, oh god, how rude, a phone call. We're not just here to do animation services. We also have some other things to offer, and so we're looking forward to that. Now, looking even further beyond that, we recognize that there is a real importance for us to do an art upgrade on the Frens collection, and we want that to be a sweeping upgrade, and it makes sense to tie it into the customization that we've always talked about, and also to have it include the women as well. So we're looking at that to take place sort of in September. I know that's a long way away from now, but everything that we've worked on up to this point, we've learned a lot, and we apply it to the next thing that we work on. And if we do the art upgrade now, we miss out on everything that we will learn and streamline between now and then. So I think it's the right move for us to focus on this other collection, do some work for some other projects, and then in September roll out the art upgrade customization, basically everything we've talked about, and make Frens, the main collection, the best animated art on Solana. That's really the goal there, and also set up the collection for future animation, for more customization options down the road, in terms of us creating new animations that might be special event ones, or limited time ones, or things of that nature. So we have some things to work out in terms of the mechanics of how the customization will work. We are talking about rewarding rarity a bit there. To this point, rarity has not really played a part, but we're thinking that maybe the rarer your traits, the more customization points become available to you, and you can make more changes than a more common than you could with a more common pet and friend. We're also considering a deflationary mechanic where you could murder a pen friend to harvest customization points for one of your other friends, or murder multiples. Anyways, we'll discuss that more as we go, but that's kind of what we're looking towards. Like, okay, let's do all this other work, let's gain all this other knowledge, and let's get to where we really want to be in terms of setting up the collection for the future, in terms of everything, right? Like file format, loop length, and just how everything is structured, so that it is as future-proofed as possible, and we don't have to be doing these upgrades, fundamental upgrades, every 6 months. We can just push new animations or new accessories and things like that, and make those available instead. And we want to get to the point where we do that for other projects as well, where it's not sort of like our relationship with them isn't finished. Like with Stone Ape Crew, for example, it's like we animated the full collections, like now they're done and they're out there, and everyone who sent theirs for The Awakening has an animated version. But the idea of it being an ongoing thing where that's like option A, and then you evolve beyond that as we go, because now like all the prep work that goes into animating these collections is done, and now you have all of these traits, and they can be animated in different ways, and it's kind of silly not to take advantage of that down the road, because so much of the legwork is done, and we have all of this flexibility to do more. So I think we probably should, and also as we develop, like basically everything that's happening right now in terms of animating for other collections is because we animated our own, and as we add more features to what we do, which benefits all of us as holders, because the collection is better, but also all of those things become services that we make available to everyone else. So continuing sort of to upgrade and innovate our own collection has really two positive effects, one of which is our collection is better, and the other one is now we have more to offer other projects, which is important, because we can't just, like I say, we can't just do the one thing and then that's a great partner, client, however you want to characterize it, and then we're sort of done with them. We want to keep it as an ongoing thing that evolves over time. And these collections, where they've moved from point A to point B, there's multiple points beyond, as we continue to evolve what is expected of an NFT, which is really exciting. I mean, with the legendaries of the nuked apes, you may have seen some of them. We need to differentiate them from the animated regular ones, and we added sound to them, and that's changed everything. I mean, now we're working on the Stoned Ape Crew legendaries, and we're doing lip sync in them. And so I haven't seen that done anywhere else. It's not like a super revolutionary idea, but it's still cool. It's out there, and I think that we will sort of expand on that more and more. Once you get to this longer loop length, and now you're incorporating sound, now you're starting to tell a bit of a story, with your NFT. And the next step for that will be holder choice, where you have a say in what story you're telling in your NFT animation, because there are multiple options available to you, and by selecting a certain combination, now you're telling the story that you want to tell. I think that's sort of where we're headed, and I think that's really exciting, and I think that we'll continue to try and be at the front of the evolution of NFTs, from just static JPEG to something more. There's really no limit to what it can be. I know it's sort of like just a token, and in Solana typically it's kind of like, well, it's just a token and the utility of the project is more important, and the JPEG is a token, but it doesn't have to be that way. And we're excited about that, but like I say, we're always going to push those developments to PenFriends first, and then make them available to others, and just continue to experiment and learn along the way. So that's sort of the broader overall plan over the next few months. And in the more immediate future, we have the airdrops, as we've talked about, which will be just arrive in the middle of the night with no warning, and the subsequent ones could be a few days after, it could be a few weeks after. You just won't know. I think that's just the best way to do that. And I think that's pretty much it for now. I'm sure there's more things, but I've totally forgotten about them. So anyways, to recap, it's been a super busy month, and it will continue to be busy, but right now we have less client work to do, and we have more to do in terms of developing our own stuff, which is exciting. We're really looking forward to this next collection, and I think it's we have a great opportunity to build demand for PenFriends and to put the name out there a bit more, and also to provide some value for you guys by you're all guaranteed to be in it, and you will always be guaranteed to be in these. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, any questions, as always, hit me up in the Discord, and pen friends for life.